Hello everyone, as mentioned, my name is Conor Walsh. I'm from Dublin, Ireland, and I just completed my undergraduate degree at Dundalk IT, to which I studied music. There's a recurring question that's come up on this trip about my surname. I'm in no way related to Rory Walsh, as far as I'm concerned anyway, but I just wanted to kind of nip that in the bud there. But yeah, so I'm going to start my Masters now at Maynooth University in Music Technology, and I'm already ditching my first week of lectures to be here, so cheers for having me. This is pretty cool, so thank you. Before I begin this presentation, I would consider myself still to be a complete beginner in the realm of C sound and all forms of programming languages. The following coding excerpt you're about to see came with a great deal of help from my supervisor, Rory. The following research is part of my undergraduate dissertation, and the reason why I undertook this project was to teach myself a new skill and to open my mind creatively more as a musician, and just learn new ways of creating tools and instruments for live purposes or recording, or just for the fun, really. So a small bit about myself. I'm a guitarist first and foremost. I play mostly rock and traditional Irish music. As a rock guitarist, I love big distorted guitar tones, so that led to my fascination with guitar pedals. So a couple of years back, I started to teach myself how to build analog distortion pedals just from scratch, and buying DIY kits, kind of basic fuzz overdrive pedals. So my fondness of pedal making actually led me to my research idea. So I thought to myself, if I could build analog distortion pedals, why not try replicate it through audio synthesis? So for my dissertation, I'm attempting to replicate the Ibanez TS9 Tube Screamer. It's one of the most renowned overdrive pedals since the 70s, and it's a personal favourite of mine, so it made sense just to go with that, and really. To be honest, going into this research, the likelihood of me actually replicating the exact tone of this pedal is going to be quite slim, given my lack of skills in audio programming. But the main focus of my dissertation was to research methods that could be used to replicate analog distortions. I wrote this dissertation from a musician's point of view, because that's what I am, so that a musician with some form of production background could read my dissertation and have a fair understanding of what I was trying to achieve. And if I failed to replicate the pedal but discover some methods that got me quite close to the sound of the Tube Screamer, well, then maybe someone can pick up on the research or give me some advice down the line what to do, really. So beginning the research, logically for me it made sense to dissect the Tube Screamer by examining its schematic in great detail and to understand how it functions, really. There were various schematics of the Tube Screamer online, but Electro Smash provided the most accurate layout, therefore was my primary source of reference. The analysis is split into three sections: the input, output buffers, the clipping stage, and the tone volume stage. The primary features that I focused on was the pedal's symmetric form of clipping, along with its unique mid-frequency boost, characteristic associated with the low-pass filtering stages of the circuit. Various types of wave shaping transfer functions were researched during the implementation stages of the study, along with the low-pass filtering upcodes such as Moog Ladder, Butter LP, and Tone. Ultimately, I went with the tan-H transfer function along with the tone upcode because it seemed like the most suitable combination of processes needed to approximate the sound of the Tube Screamer. So here is a simplified implementation using the tan-H transfer function and tone low-pass filtering upcode as provided here on the screen. The example uses a Gen 4 table to analyze the transfer function and create a complementary normalized table which is used to scale the output. The high-pass and low-pass filters of the upcode are split the signal chain in the same way the Tube Screamer does. So the higher frequencies pass through the distortion chain, whilst the lower frequencies remain unchanged. I'll provide some listening examples now in a moment so you can hear the difference between the Tube Screamer and its C-sound emulation. So here is a spectral image that displays the similarities between the Tube Screamer signal, which is on the left-hand side, and then C-sound emulation, which is on the right-hand side. As you can see, the lower frequencies in the spectrum show quite a strong likeness, whilst the higher frequencies seem to trail off a lot faster in the C-sound emulation. Modifying the filter's cutoff frequency will help to elevate this, but involves a bit of tweaking. To gain easier control of the output signal, the final implementation features a set of graphical controls that users can use to tweak the aspect of the instrument's output. Users have the choice between the tan H clipping or extreme hard clipping. It is possible with some basic experimentation to dial and tone that's quite close in timbre to the original tube screamer. Yeah, sure, I'll give you some audio listening examples so you can hear the difference. So I kind of dialed in a tone that sounds quite close to my ear, but I'll let you guys. So yeah, the first one there was I'm sure you guessed, was the original tube screamer, and then the second one was the C-sound emulation. It's not spot on, I'd admit, but it's not, to be honest, I don't think it's a million miles off at the same time. So that was probably the closest I got to it anyway. I'm sure you can imagine listening to that tone on repeat. It annoys the hell out of you because it's just quite irritating. To try and dial in the tone, listen to that for hours was no fun, but it had to be done. So yeah, in conclusion, the focus of my paper was to look at simple methods that could be used to emulate the output of the tube screamer distortion pedal. In many ways, it represents quite a naive approach to considering little or no consideration was given to the possibility of aliasing or other complex side effects of wave shaping with complex sound sources. Regardless, the combination of the tan H transfer function and the basic tone controls seem to work quite well in emulating the tube screamer. So yeah, for the fun of it, I got like a pedal pie DIY kit, which I have here. Once I figure out how to hack the Raspberry Pi and upload the emulation, it's be a kind of fun tool to have just for live purposes, because as a guitarist I enjoy the physical aspect of actually stomping on the pedal. And yeah, that'll be fun once you get that. The only issue with this, it's 12 bits, so it's quite low fi. Again, just a bit of fun. So yeah, cheers for having me over. This is pretty cool. It's great to come to this beautiful country and talk to you guys. There's such a welcoming community, and yeah, I look forward to continuing my journey in C-sounds and learning more about it. So if you have any advice on how to further my study, I'm all ears. Cheers. Thank you.